Alright, well, welcome back to segment 2. Alright, now a couple things that you may see. We've already got the shading in, but I threw in a couple extra buildings here on the B side. Do know that they're the same exact process as you did over here. Alright, so your A and B side, the way you construct these are exactly the same. Alright, so that's why I went ahead and jumped ahead between segments so that we can move on to a couple other things. Now, we have been seeing us shade in the parts of the building. Alright, please be consistent with that. So this side, and then if those are all supposed to be in the same plane, go ahead and shade accordingly. So that side will be shaded, this side will be shaded, and so will that one. Now, do know that this side might be illuminated, alright, throughout the process. So don't shade it completely in, whereas these are going to be hidden by a building. These may actually have some other light sources. But just for consistency's sake, go ahead and know that you have the front plane and the side plane. Now, to continue on with that, you have an alleyway here. Go ahead and shade it in, but I will stress to make this one just a tad bit darker. And then the same way for this section here. And notice I'm not spending a whole lot of time on the shading part, alright, because this is a sketchbook and we're just trying to learn some new concepts. Alright, now from here, what we want to do is we want to start decorating our building. Alright, because we have basically the floor plan for our skeleton for our city map. So what we want to do is start deciding where we're going to put some doors and some windows and things of that nature. Alright, now most of the time a corner building, alright, is going to have an entrance either on both sides or one side. Alright, but they're always going to have display windows because we're going to think of this as a business district. Alright, so what I'm going to do on the A side of this building, I'm going to basically work in a wraparound window. And since I already have the corner of the wraparound, what I want to do is establish the angle. And then I'm going to put in that vertical line. So the top and bottom slant to the vanishing point, only on the A side. And then I added in that little vertical line. Now notice I have some space between the window and the wall. And you want to make sure in perspective and in proportion that you have enough space between the ground and where someone would be walking to look in. Now I do want to continue on with the other side to get this to wrap around. So I connected where that hit the center of our diamond. I connected it to the vanishing point, and then I'm going to connect the bottom as well. And you should see, if I do this correctly, you should see that bend slightly. So it should change direction. So it comes upward, then it goes back down. Alright, now it's more severe away from the horizon line, but since we're close to the horizon line here, you don't see it as much. Alright, then at this point, I'm going to add in my little line there, and this looks like my window is wrapping around that building. Now, I'm missing a very important part of this, and that happens to be the door, because we got to be able to get into our building. You think so, that's right. Alright, so I'm going to leave a little space here between the window. I'm going to put in my vertical line. Now you may go ahead and go above that line if you wish. Alright, but make sure that you do at least go to the top of that window, because we don't want this to be too short for people to walk into. Now, once I've made that tall line, just like any other thing we've done in this video, connect it to the vanishing point, and then stop it in the appropriate amount of space to make the door. Now, before I start adding in any kind of depth to it, I am going to put a banner or a sign above the doorway. So I'm going to start with the diagonal line first. I connected it to the vanishing point. Then I'm going to open it up to make the top of the box, and then I'll play connect the dots. Now, the last thing I'm going to do for today is I'm going to go ahead and throw in a couple of windows. And they're done just exactly like I have done this banner here. It's just now it's going to take up more visual space. But then I'm going to separate those with two wonderful, happy vertical lines. Actually, I want to make that a little smaller. Alright, so basically what I've done is I've taken this concept here with the banner. Alright, I made that box first. Then I divided it into two smaller sections and then erased out the section in the middle. So at this point, this building now has two windows, a banner, a door, and then a wraparound window. Now, before we finish up this segment, I'm going to do a little quick intro on how to create the depth on this. But we're going to spend more time with this in the next segment. Alright, so watch the bottom of the door. I do not want this door to set flush with the building, so I'm going to add a small little diagonal there. Notice that since it's on the B side, it's going to slant to the A. Then I'm going to make the door frame. Now, at this point, you have to make some decisions. Alright, now if I bring this all the way up, according to where I'm at on the above the horizon line, if I bring this line all the way up, sometimes it'll completely disappear. Alright, other times you're going to need to draw that bottom edge of the door. And how do you decide that? You basically lay your ruler here on the horizon line and you start tilting it up, and if there's a clear line of path there underneath the door frame, then you got to put that in. Now at this point, that corner, just like the bottom, should slant. And I know this is a lot of detail and a lot of fine work, but you'll know, and you'll hear me say this 1,000 times, the devil's in the details. Alright, if you don't have that little segment right there and this little segment at the bottom, then what happens is your door looks unfinished, or it just looks like an open alleyway or an open portal. And the last thing we got to do to finish that depth part is make the bottom indentation, which happens right there. Alright, now I'm going to take a second and I'm going to zoom in so you can see that a little bit more. So we're going to stop the tutorial here today. Alright, we basically got some things to work with next time. You've already seen how we're going to indent some of the doors and windows and stuff into the building. Alright, so when we come back in class next time, we will start developing this piece a whole lot more. Alright, I do want to throw in some skyscrapers in the background and some other stuff on the street. So that'll be what we're going to do next. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Alright, please rewind and get anything that you need so we're caught up for class next time. Alright, thank you very much.